Are you seeing this?
Joe, come on, wake up. Joe, it's Mages. We're at the Mage video. Wake up.
This is ridiculous. Why am I even here? Obama, let's just start without him.
No, Donald, we have to wake him up. Joe, come on, this is your time. We're finally at Mages.
It's no use. I've seen him sleep like this before. He's not going to wake up for another day or two.
Damn it, I guess it has come down to this in the end. Speaking of which, Don, I'm surprised you actually showed up.
What's that supposed to mean? I need to be here for these tier lists to set the viewers straight.
I mean, with your recent, legal issues and all, I haven't seen you around for the past month. Was planning on calling my boy Mitt to cover you for this episode.
Mitt? Mitt fucking Romney? You were planning on replacing me with that loon? Anyway, no, I was busy selling Bacall with the boys. Got to get that week one bread, you know?
But what about your indictment?
Fuck that. I have to grab Bacall before anything else at any cost. You know the top 5 auctions from week 1 they showed on Xstream? That was me. I bought them all.
I don't know if that's how the law works, but I can respect the hustle. Joe here isn't working with us, however. So
what?
Donald, we'll have to use that.
Use what? What are you talking about?
There's no time to explain. I'm sorry, Joe. I'll have to do this to you after all. It's time for that.
Don't worry, Barrick. I had my secretary write up a script that automatically pops me a dose of ketamine every minute.
Oh man, it's finally time. We're finally at the Mages.
What the hell?
Let's go, there's no time to waste. We'll start with Elementalist. She's a mage who studied the very foundations of nature's magic and has come to acquire an understanding of the universe itself. She's capable of summoning lightning, call forth magical crystals from space, cause earthquakes that form magical black holes. She's able to tear planets apart with her transcendental magic. She's going to S tier for sure. Put her in there, Barack.
Roger.
What the fuck is happening, Obama?
You're witnessing the ultimate form of Joe Biden. The sleep bracelet's insomnia buff is suppressing the natural drowsiness that keeps a check on Joe Biden's powers. He was able to break out of his shell and unleash his true strength.
Damn, the 2024 campaign just got real.
Elementalist and S tier behind Swordmaster, because while she's pretty much a cosmic deity in power, she doesn't hold a candle against the dimension-cleaving sword mommy.
Good call, Barrick. I see you haven't gotten rusty in all these years since the last time we fought with my true power. Also, Elementalist is just stupid in PvP with the frosty head spam. Next up is the master of unlimited arcane potential, the male counterpart to Elementalist, Elemental Bomber.
Is the whole video going to be like this? How am I even going to fit my sponsorship?
We'll just have to ride this out, Don. You do not want to test him right now. Joe, tell us about Elemental Bomber.
Oh, great, more terrorist jokes.
Elemental Bomber has literally infinite mana, and he's able to contain a micro-universe within himself and can use it to produce a small Big Bang Barack.
Now that's an oxymoron if I've ever heard of one.
How is he even able to use that skill more than once? Everything is just going to be fucking destroyed.
Remember, Don, this is a video game. So where do you think he fits on the list, gentlemen?
He's obviously the S tier with the big dog.
Okay, but which of the mages is stronger?
Elementalist can destroy planets with ease, but that's basically nothing to a Big Bang, no matter the size. He's definitely above them. Plus, he still has unlimited mana, which means he comes top in a battle of attrition. Well, even with several Big Bangs, I don't think they could amount to the multiverse-destroying powers of Swordmaster. Are we in agreement?
I agree with the fact that Neopol was handing out copium for F-Slayer players to make sure their waifu was overpowered as fuck.
EB's going to be below her then. Next up is
Summoner of the Circle Mages from Pandemonium. She has contracted numerous powerful beings to call upon in battle.
Hey, wait a minute. Doesn't she summon one of the goddamn apostles in her 1A? That's got to be S tier.
But that's just a clone you mean, President. It was there so it could gather data from its battles for the real Caesar, so it's obviously not as strong. Besides, she may not even have access to it anymore since she left Kate in Pandemonium.
She also wields the power of Lamos of the Moon as well as the Moonshades on Delarian.
I don't know what any of those are. Does having the power of Lamos make her hilariously OP or something?
It's strong enough to slaughter all of the summoned creatures during its first summon, and is capable of transforming to magical eclipses. That's basically a C-tier character already, if not B.
Wow, a C-tier character, I'm so scared. Okay, but the little girl is not strong. What happens if they got to her before the summons?
Let's not forget Ravenous Delirium, which is basically an eldritch abomination on the moon. She teleports people there during her 3A, and the moonshades that make up Delirium just mercilessly devours them.
If she can't teleport her enemies there, they wouldn't be able to do a thing. Just take her out at the start of the fight, and it's smooth sailing from there. C-tier.
Assuming they could get through the hordes of elemental spirits, raging beasts, mercenaries, and the moonshades protecting her first.
Wait, mercenaries, this is just some random dude she hired. She paid a guy to follow her around, and that qualifies her as a summoner?
Still, it's kind of hard to place her. We don't know what exactly the moonshades on Delirium are fully capable of. Lamos herself is a solid combatant that could give Male Grappler a run for his money. And it's iffy whether or not she can still summon Cassius's clone. All of her lower-tiered summons range from D to C tier, with the stronger ones at around B.
She's still capable of creating lunar eclipses to summon Lamos and spread parts of the moonshade on a rad. The former could become more eclipses, and it's plausible that the latter could spread through the planet like a horrific plague. If all that's not enough, she can whip them up into a frenzy, further amplifying their powers.
I bet Don would know a thing or two about inciting people.
She's definitely A tier. Put her above the gunner's barrack. They ain't got nothing on her.
But Launcher could just snipe her halfway across where she is. Take her out right at the spot without having to fight her summons. Or just fucking bomb the shit out of everything first. If we're not counting her lackeys, then she belongs at D.
She's definitely weaker than the planet-destroying and universe-shattering classes at S tier, but figuring out where she exactly stands below them is proving to be a harder task than we initially thought.
What do we even do with her then?
I suspect that's something Neopol have asked themselves.
Put her in A.
No, you fucking tweaker. She's B at best after averaging out the power levels of her summons.
Oh, we're doing that now? I didn't even know you could do math.
You think I got to where I am without knowing basic trigonometry? I always post my boss numbers after each dungeon to figure out exactly how much I did to them. Spoilers, a lot.
Yeah, I wonder how much this will do then. Biden black.
Oh, fuck!
Well, I did warn him. Anyway, I hate to be doing this, but I think we're going to have to make a special tier again, just for Summoner.
Hugh, good thing sleep set doesn't do damage.
Let's move on to the next one, gentlemen. I've got a raid with my static later today.
Next is the cool as hell Glacial Master who makes weapons out of ice made from the abyss.
Okay, can I just say something about the artwork? Other than him looking like a snack right now? Why the hell is he wearing fur-lined clothes? They're there to keep you warm. Why does Glacial Master need to be warm?
Maybe it's more of a fashion statement. So where do we put him? Ice magic seems nice and all, but he doesn't look as powerful compared to the other mages.
It's said his ice can never melt, but they break all the time from getting shattered. No matter how much ice he makes, they always shatter.
You know, that reminds me. When was the last time an ice power user never had their ice shatter? They always melt or break at the end.
Put the femboy in D tier. He's just a glorified weapon user, except he can make his shit out of thin air.
He uses the fucking abyss to make them. They're also magic to begin with, so GB can suck a fat, ghastly cock.
He can instantly freeze a large area in his 3A, and then he makes a big-ass hammer and shatters all of it.
The ability to just fucking freeze anything anywhere is no joke. Think about it, he gains automatic home ground advantage by just being on the ice. You're in his domain as soon as he freezes the environment. He can conjure ice spears and swords from anywhere in the area and just shoot them at you, not to mention you're just stuck in place encased in ice.
So just don't let him fucking freeze or stay out of any frozen places. Done.
How are you going to prevent him from freezing when he has the fucking abyss to back him up? He can also just shoot arrows at you even if you stay away. Glacial Master is solid B tier class, or I'm not running for 2024.
You'd better put him anywhere except B then, Obama.
Joe's right. He's strong all-rounder fighter with mixed ranges, wide AoEs, and near-infinite mana to spam the ice with. Plus, all male mages are basically immortal. Let's not forget about that.
That was bullshit as hell in PvP. I'm glad they disabled it for all relevant content.
No, the fuck they didn't. It still works in town PvP. All male mages are busted as fuck there.
I want to say Glacial is above the gunners since their flamethrowers wouldn't be able to melt his ice, but they're not shatterproof. So male mechanic can just make Gaybog punch the ice and Weapon Master would cleave through them.
Okay, but is Gay Bulge freeze-proof? It's slow as fuck, so Glacial could just freeze it before it could do anything. And he could just snap his fingers and encase Weapon Master in ice to make him the next Captain of Rad.
But Weapon Master doesn't need to do anything. He could also conjure weapons out of thin air, so Glacial's going to be in for a surprise when he sees swords suddenly flying into his face.
You literally just said he's immortal, so what's he going to worry about?
I fear I may have opened the Pandora's box by bringing that up. Asura and Melanen may be able to give Glacial a good fight for his money, but at the end of the day, they don't have access to infinite mana and revives. A capable combatant will be unstoppable with those boons at their disposal. Top of B, then.
Fucking male mages being OP and shit. How come they get to have God mode?
Wow! Cry some more, Donald, and here's another for you to maul that. The twin-tailed, lowly goddess of physical and magical might combine. Battle Mage!
Isn't this the bitch who's always been bottom tier in those Korean rankings? Trash. Don't know why Xi Jinping even mains one.
In-game tier lists have nothing to do with our discussion. Besides, those rankings are sus anyway. The real players form their own opinions after having experienced each class rather than blindly following some arbitrary list some Korean came up.
Barack is correct, she may be bug mage, but she's hell of a spicy girl in lore. Just to start off, her 2A skill is called Dimensional Rend. That jumps her to S tier next to Swordmaster already.
Yeah, but it's just the name. It sure doesn't look like she rendered a dimension in the game. Remember how you guys shat on Male Ranger's 7th flow for claiming to be faster than light?
This is different.
How?
Her transformation is basically a god formed by the primal energies of the universe itself. She's a literal deity powered by the very fabric of existence. And just to prove that point, she gathers all the elements in the universe, forms them into a galaxy, and fucking explodes them. This is some Hindu mythology shit here.
Just a galaxy? Science may not be my biggest bullet point on my resume, but I'm pretty sure galaxies are smaller than universes. You guys just said Elemental Bomber can make and destroy small universes.
You're correct, Don. But what's destroying a universe going to do if Battle Mage's transformation is made of the universe itself? It's not like EB's permanently destroying the universe. Hell, it's not even the one they're in. It's just a smaller one he creates within himself.
Oh, my bad. I didn't think a fake universe exploding into the current universe would be any different than a real one. Honest mistake.
Even if that happens, Battle Mage is just going to reform from the energies of the universe. Elemental Bomber may have immortality, but what the fuck is that going to do when there's literally nothing left?
Okay, fine, she's OP, but what about against Swordmaster?
That's easy. Battle Mage comes out top, no questions.
Against the dimension-destroying army of swords she has? Mind if you explain?
Yeah, but Swordmaster herself is just a regular-ass mortal at the end of the day. Her swords may destroy the ever-loving shit out of Battle Mage, but if she even takes so much as one scratch, she's fucking dead, vaporized, erased from the universe, returned to the elements. And Battle Mage, being a primeval god made of universal energy, wouldn't just die off like that.
What if the swords killed her so hard there's nothing left? They're capable of ripping through dimensions, so it wouldn't be far-fetched to assume, if put to proper work, they can erase whatever residue energies left behind by Battle Mage and give her no chance of reviving at all. Destroy her so hard, she doesn't come back.
I'm sorry, I wasn't aware I'm at the playground participating in makeup fights again. Are you guys hearing yourselves?
Silence the adults are talking. Swordmaster may have broken offensive capabilities, but like I said, she's just a regular human. Like how this orange fuck said, Summoner can't do shit if you target her directly. Swordmaster is not going to last in an all-out deathmatch against Battle Mage. She can just detonate the space she's standing on and boom, Swordmaster gets reduced to atoms before she could even issue a command to her flying swords.
I can see where you're coming from. It's an unstoppable force against an immovable object, except you're claiming the immovable object has a rather difficult-to-stop force of its own. A heavy, reckless attacker versus an extremely solid, all-rounder fighter.
Is there any character stronger than Battle Mage? I'm not talking about her first awakening Bellatrix, who's based on the goddess of light and justice, Tina, and led to the creation of chasers and the development of battle mages. I'm not talking about her second awakening, Astarte, the state reached by condensing Tiana's powers and inserted into her body, therefore reaching to a new height with strength comparable to Apostles. Hence, the apostolized transformation. I'm not talking about a Start who can wield the ultimate technique of dimensional realms that can tear realities apart like a hot knife through butter. I'm talking about the Neo, battle mage that has attained the ultimate form of presencia, the primordial goddess who is birthed by the shapeless elements of the universe and who was there at the beginning in a world of only dark and light, where the concept of good and evil was still unclear.
The Overseer, the radiant and resplendent true goddess of war.
I think the F-Slayer wins because she has bigger tits.
Wrong! Battle Mage gains tits when she transforms into presentia. They're just as big, if not bigger, since they're made out of the universe itself. Think about it, Donald. Tits filled with primordial universal energy. You can't get any bigger than that. Also, she can transform back to a regular form for the base petite enjoyers, the best of both worlds, top of S tier. She's the strongest of all. Biden 2024.
So your argument comes back to you being a lolicon. Why am I not surprised?
I don't want to hear that from the guy convicted of sexual abuse. Besides, she's like as old as the universe itself, so it's perfectly legal. And F-mages are grown-up adults by the time they reach 3A anyway. So your argument is as valid as your NFTs. Take that, Biden blah.
Yeah!
Whoa.
What the fuck?
Fuck.
What the hell was that?
It's what happens when he tries to attack with 4 or more insomnia stacks. His body can't keep up with the traumatic change from their inhibitors being removed.
It's Jover. My ketamine just ran out. I'm having my secretary order another shipment right now.
Can you even make it to the end of the video now?
Don't count me out of the fight yet. I don't plan on dying until they release all of DNF Duel's DLC characters. Anyway, next up is my boy Swift Master, who has to be as OP as he is in the fighting game. He can summon twisters, storms, hurricanes, anything that has to do with shit blowing. And by 3A, he achieves the ability to literally become the one with the air.
Oh, I have one of those. He's been one of my premier gold makers since Grandine.
Wait, what? You have a Swift to farm gold. You farm gold?
Well, no, I don't farm gold. The guy who I'm paying to run my characters whenever I'm not playing does. It's not a bad gig if I say so myself.
How much are you paying him?
I offer either stocks in Bitcoin or a link to one of my NFT cards for every 100 million gold he's farmed.
Barack, we need an intervention for that guy.
So what's Zoomer Boy here going to do when he's just a fart in the wind? Far as I'm aware, he still flies around and just punch shit.
Okay, go to Oklahoma right now and stand in front of a tornado and see what happens.
The ability to summon storms and hurricanes isn't a joke. Swift Master's powers can affect the environment on a global scale. Entire cities can be destabilized by a tropica storm. I saw what happened with Katrina with my own eyes, Don.
Yeah, keep talking. I also saw how prepared you were for Sandy.
Since Swift can become the wind, he's essentially invulnerable to all damage. On top of having merged with the Abyss, Swift has a never-ending supply of mana and impregnable defense. Physical attackers can just forget about fighting him.
But he's no match for the big dogs in S tier. I don't think I'll have to delve into why destroying planets and beyond gatekeeps him from being at the top.
So put him at front of A. His powers may be humble for a mage, but he still deserves recognition for what he could do.
So how is he going to fight against Soul Blender and the Goth chick? Can they claim death from the wind?
That is a very good question. I can only speculate what would happen should they clash.
Doesn't matter. Abyss immortality, remember?
It doesn't work the way you think, Joe. When you fight Kashipas, they die not because you deal the mortal blow, but the abyss they had tried to contain simply overwhelmed them. Male Mage, of course, is more resistant to this, and he gets better at it as he advances through his awakenings. It's probably safe to assume that by 3A, they've mastered the abyss at such a level that only the abyss itself could really kill them. Which means, if SB or DT does some death hacks move, Swift will simply respawn the next moment. Besides, Swift belongs to the abyss and the realm it resides. Do SB and DT have the authority to ignore life insurance from another god? Think about it, gents. Can you fire someone that works in a company you don't own?
Yes.
So it just comes down to a regular fight between them. Since Swift has immunity to all forms of physical damage, it'll just be a matter of how SB and DT can use their magical attacks to hurt him, while having to deal with the massive storms he summoned. They'll have to spam Kala and try to cut through some weak part of the wind or something. And that's no easy feat still. I'm just going to swiftly put him at top of A tier.
A tier in farming, maybe?
Next up, the gifted student of alchemy with undiagnosed ADHD witch.
All of her shit is RNG riddled. She can't be counted on in a fight.
But that just makes her more unpredictable and volatile. You never know when that giant drill she's crashing into you will explode.
Okay, but just how destructive is Hermione here, really? None of her skills look particularly strong, and two of her awakening lures are just random nonsense.
Let's see. The witchcraft machines she uses are the result of fusing magic and science, and she utilizes forbidden homunculi to assist her. Her third awakening is just her crashing a roller coaster. Seems like a standard alchemist or artificer type of mage.
She should at least be in B. She can make acid rain clouds on the go. Not to mention her lava potions, which make, lava. That should count for environmental damage.
If she's in B, she's going to be below Weapon Master. The amount of acid rain and lava she produces seems trivial to the other AoE capabilities in B tier.
Actually, you know what I think? Witch looks like she doesn't do much, but she's likely the type to win anything with bullshit luck. Hell, she's basically a gag character in personality. Those motherfuckers are OP as hell. Ever seen tier lists with some random goofy-looking person at the top? That's them.
True. Comic reliefs are in their own category when it comes to power levels.
Don't be making a new tier again, Barack. Just put Witch in low B. She's like the simplest mage to talk about. No fancy higher entity as patron, no vague overpowered abilities, just a humble witch who has familiars and does alchemy stuff. Granted, the ethics behind her familiars are still controversial, but that has nothing to do with how strong she is.
Placing her at the bottom of B, then. Oh, this one will be interesting. Now we have Blood Mage.
Okay, now you can't tell me he isn't OP. Even without considering his advancements, bloodbending is broke as hell. He can suck the life out of everything around him, not to mention being able to just manipulate all the blood in someone's body.
Let me get that good suck.
He doesn't seem to have the vast scale of his fellow mages, though. While the others are breaking planets, Blood Mage is just spamming Vlad Q on random people.
You may be right, but he's definitely a notch above Witch. In single combat, there's no one living who could hope to face him.
Okay, what if he's up against an undead? Or an immortal like another male mage? Looking at his skills, Blood Mage mostly just spams blood projectiles and forms them as physical weapons. He's no more impressive than someone like Ghostblade without his blood manipulation.
Yeah, make him fight Ghostblade. How is he gonna win if there's no body to suck? Looks like we have someone at the bottom of C tier.
You forget the mage in his name? Besides, I'm sure his blood power from the Abyss can physically affect Ghostblade, considering how involved the Abyss is with death.
Now you're just huffing that copium headcanon.
Grr, just wait till I have my ketamine. Then I'll show you your headcanon event.
Let's put him in A then, next to SB and DT.
Hey, hold up. Doesn't Berserker also have blood powers? He's also hard to kill and swings a bloody weapon. How come he's stuck at C?
Well, for one, while being hard to kill, he's not fully immortal like the male mages. From what we've seen of his moves, Zerker's blood powers mostly affect himself, and he uses it to empower him like donning it as a crab armor.
Well, what's gonna happen when he and Blood Mage fight?
Since Zerker's totally not vague and unexplained blood powers came from his own body, it's safe to say Blood Mage will have a hard time draining his life force directly. It may just end up being a physical clash in the end, with Zerker having the upper hand, but of course Abyss immortality. It would be a long, dragged-out fight, but eventually Blood Mage will prevail by simply out-sustaining Zerker.
Which crackhead writer thought that was a good idea to shove that immortality shit into the lore? It did nothing but fuck up the power scaling in DFO.
Oh, I didn't know you cared about the lore now.
I'll have you know that I am a respected pillar of the One Piece power level community. I know the difference between good writing and the blatant disregard of the world building for the sake of inserting something cool.
Yeah, then tell me how Shanks lost his arm from a fucking Sea King that Luffy beat up later in the same episode.
It's rather simple, so I'm not surprised you don't get it, Joe. Luffy just ate the god devil fruit Shanks spent so much time searching for, and all of a sudden he's about to throw all of his hard work down the shitter by drowning. Of course he's going to go out of his way to save him.
That doesn't explain how a level 2 mob like a Sea King tore off Shanks' arm even pre-time skip.
Gentlemen, we're talking about DFO here. For the sake of the discussion, I'm just going to shove Blood Mage to top of B tier. While he doesn't have the large AoE capabilities like the others in the tier, he does pretty much win any 1v1 by default, provided his opponent is living and is not another male mage. While most of A tier is also helpless in a direct confrontation, they could at least take advantage of their global-sized AoEs to keep him down. I think that's a decent compromise here.
It's kind of funny. We just talked about Witch. Now here comes another one.
Yeah, it's weird how Enchantress is more closer to an actual witch in real life than Witch in DFO is. She's the first satyr-type class we're going to look at. Hailing from the Forest of Dolls in Bronx, she and her cohort practice actual witchcraft with curses and voodoo dolls.
I always knew Bronx was a shithole.
Ain't stopping me. Have you seen her model in DNF Duel?
Ain't nobody's playing that unbalanced ass game, Joe. The big dogs are talking about the OG DFO.
It's unbalanced, I'll give you that, but that's exactly what makes it fun. It's the perfect game to play at your friend's house at a party after some drinks. It's the type of game people play in the public bathroom at EVO, like Melty Blood.
You did not just compare Melty Blood with DNF Duel. Have you lost your goddamn mind? Oh, wait, why did I even ask?
Everybody shut the hell up. We need to talk about this right here. Y'all need to see this.
The fuck? Space-time?
I didn't think Enchantress was anything special when I came in today, at least not in the same vein compared to her fellow mages. But this changes things.
All she does is hocus-pocus evil Disney shit. How come she's suddenly capable of shifting space-time? Explain this one to me, Joe. I'm looking forward to it. Make me understand.
Actually, I didn't even know about it till now. This is news to me. Wow, that's some shit.
Apparently her ultimate black magic is able to change any place into the center of the Forest of Dolls, like dead-ass anywhere in space-time. She probably has to physically be there, and it might take a lot of strain on her body, but a feat like that rivals God's, literally breaking the laws of physics, the universe, everything.
She's also capable of raising the dead and stuffing their souls into puppets. That's borderline Tier 1 divine magic. Can the actual necromancers in DFO even do that?
Her destructive powers are tame when it comes to offense, reflecting her role as a satyr. So this is where things get interesting. I initially tagged her as a low B tier, but being able to just mess with the space-time like that, how do you think it factors into her placement, gents?
Well, all of her awakenings are related to one another. Her 1A puts on a puppet show by controlling the players. Her 2A changes the location to her home ground, and her 3A has her 1A on steroids by transforming everything into props, and then Mage shows up and trashes the place. You can think of it as a reality marble, an ultimate form of magic from Fate, where the user's surroundings are transformed into their inner world. You're basically helpless if you're ever caught inside one of those. Unless you are crazy OP or possess plot armor, you basically instantly lose.
You lost me. I don't play trash gotchas.
Surely you've seen YouTube clips of Unlimited Blade Works, Donald.
Oh, you mean that thing with the guy's boner summoning flying swords? Yeah, that's sick.
Reality marbles are pretty much one of the most OP forms of magic, so I can see what you're saying. Given how Mad can end the puppet show by destroying everything inside, it's possible that nothing can escape or survive once caught. Enchantress possesses the ultimate territory advantage by being able to summon it from anywhere. On top of her curses and voodoo magic, she's quite the nightmare of an opponent. Perhaps literally. She's straight up a character out of the horror genre.
Who's even going to survive an encounter with her? It's probably a good thing that she's a shut-in neat.
I think you would need extreme mental fortitude in order to not be a victim of her puppet show. Or maybe even lack of it.
Nah, she kicked Zerker's ass in DNF Duel's story mode. Even the classic too stupid to get it trick doesn't work on her.
Looking at the S tiers, I think it's safe to assume neither Elementalist or Elemental Bomber possess the required mental defenses. Elementalist is just a typical girl outside of her overwhelming magic, and male mage's immortality only heals the body, not the mind.
Okay, sure, but can't they just bomb the shit out of Enchantress before she could do anything? I'm starting to sound like a broken iPod here.
She can house.
Who knows, Enchantress can probably just do her thing on them from anywhere at any time. We don't actually know if there are any limitations to her ability, outside of the in-game MP and cube costs. And Battle Mage is hard to say. She might have a completely different state of mind when she's transformed into Presencia. How easily can a primordial god be influenced by Enchantress's dark magic? We don't know. Then there is Swordmaster, oh Swordmaster. Low diff, easy match.
Huh? Why?
She has a skill called Composure. All female slayers do, actually, so I guess they're the hard counters.
That's bullshit. The skill doesn't even describe what it does outside of the gameplay stats.
I mean, if her composure is enough to warrant a whole skill named after it...
Stop being an F-Slayer, Simp Barak, and have some dignity.
Fine, I'm just going to put her in the same unknown factor tier as Summoner. Let's wrap up the last one, gents. I just got pinged by my static. Our last mage is the Goth Kid Dimensional Walker.
This is the class that comes with your own lowly demon girlfriend. The popularity list guy always goes nuts over her when this class is brought up.
I wouldn't consider Nayarli a lowly, Donald. She's like 10,000 years old or something.
Nah, you capping, bro. Why are you against me on this? They always have the lowly characters that are immortal in age, which is why it's justified to grab them by the cunny.
There is a difference, you uncultured swine. You wouldn't get it. She's not a lowly.
Okay, before we get canceled and lose our sponsors, let's quickly go over what Dimensional Walker is capable of. He can rip, distort, explode, and collapse space-time. He can fire multidimensional laser beams. He can warp reality and mold them with other dimensions. He also deals frequently with the DFO equivalent of otherworldly eldritch abominations, some of which are strong enough to destroy the space-time continuum.
You can't talk your way out of this one, Barack.
Seconded.
I hate this game.
Okay, so to recap, we have Elementalist at S, Elemental Bomber at S, Summoner in her weird tier, Glacial Master at B, Battle Mage at S, Swift Master at A, Witch at B, Blood Mage at B, Enchantress at the weird tier, and Dimensional Walker at the top of F.
I think we all expected the mages to be packing heat, but this is a little ridiculous.
Man, what is wrong with this class?
The better question would be, what isn't?
Gah!
Stay strong, Joe. We're almost at the end of the video.
You know what you need, Joe?
Mogu Mogu Yummy Magic Cunny?
No, you senile fuck. It's an ice-cold can of Swashbuckler's refreshment. One sip from the finely curated formula of ingredients will produce the explosive kick you need for that afternoon slump. Drink it before driving to work, a meeting, your raid, hell, even a battle. And that's not just all. Swashbucklers also come in 6 different flavors, one for every different type of aspiring player. The incredible gamer fuel to sustain your needs. Swashbucklers, guaranteed to blow your mind. Use the code HAVAGOO-DTIMECTF when you order from their website to get 7.7% off on up to 9 cans of Swashbucklers.
So are you shilling an energy drink or something?
What? It's fucking booze in a can. You know, man's greatest friend since ancient times? Corona stocks ain't exactly doing hot lately, so I had to invest in something new.
It doesn't matter anyway, my ketamine just came in.
Now that we are done with mages, we're at the halfway mark. Just 6 more classes to go and this tier list will be complete. 8, if you count the supplementaries.
The what?
Wait, what about the new class that just came out? Hunter?
We'll get to Archer eventually. Maybe they will finally release the rest of her subclasses by the time we get to her. As for now, I'm just going to lump her with the supplementaries video. Now, if you will excuse me, I have a red party to lead.
Ha! 8 is too many. I doubt you're going to even last up till the end of next episode. You are a tier 4 president, just like your sleep build.
Talk shit and get away with it. Take.
You know that ain't gonna do shit, right? I've seen 20-second summoner sandbags that are stronger. Wait, what the...
Fight Dragon Blast!